now, broadcasting from the jungles of Southeast Asia, it is time for the Ed Namrock Podcast.
All right, I'm going to take it back a little bit and actually start the podcast with my old intro that I have not said in quite some time. And it goes a little something like this. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of most ages, because not all of you should be watching this podcast because it's profane. We say a lot of bad words like fuck, like shit, like cock, like piss, all that shit. I even say cunt sometimes. So you shouldn't be watching this. Anyway, welcome to the very last podcast of 2020. And Robert, Namrock. Thank you again for actually joining me this entire year. Actually, I started the live streams in May, and my very first guest was Voodoo Kyle Guerrero from By Gesture, and had him on the podcast. We were talking some crazy stuff, and also his girlfriend Harley Hopkins kind of chimed in and kind of told us about what 5G is and stuff like that. I got pretty deep in that subject, but we didn't have enough time, and I wasn't exactly skilled on how to navigate StreamYard because this is the service I use. But nonetheless, it's been a fucked up year for a lot of us. And I want to start off by dedicating this podcast actually to my friend of probably equivalent years as Roger. I believe it's been 27, carry the one. Man, I don't even know. I met Roger and this gentleman that, so dearly means a lot to me. Doing the math, I've known them for 26 years, equivalently. I want to give a very, very special shout out to my friend of 26 years, Gabriel Ariano, who is in the hospital right now in the intensive care unit fighting COVID-19. And man, it's hit home before, don't get me wrong, but this one hits differently because, I grew up with him. I played football with him for almost 5 years, from flag football to senior year. We never lost contact. I know stuff happened with life and we all kind of went our own ways. I know I did because I had a lot of issues that I had to sort out. But get well soon, Gabriel. I love you. I know you usually chime in, you tune into the podcast and, comment on the comment section and whatnot. But I just want to say I love you. I'm thinking about you daily. I've been anxious since last week. Christmas obviously, wasn't the same without you, and neither is New Year's. And, just want you back, buddy. Okay. And shout out to his wife, his child, his kids, his whole family. Chris, Audrey, Maria, Rena, Nathan, Lana, Lauren, everybody, all the Arianos. I love you guys. So this podcast is for you. Just letting you know. Okay. But that brings me to, of course, my brother from another. Gotcha, bitch.
You didn't introduce.
I don't need to.
I know, it's cool.
But yeah, I mean, you know how tough 2020 has been.
Yeah, I heard everything, and you didn't mention me, so I'm gonna say it. Gabriel, I love you. I want you to fight this. My love to your family, everybody. You're my number one fan. I know that. I'm your number one fan. So if you're watching this, or if you're listening to this, or if you're gonna listen to this, we're pulling for you, bro.
And Iron Mike says, sorry, bro, don't have to say anything loud, but think positively. And it's, yes, I should. And it's very difficult. But that's why we have this dialogue, because when you don't have any dialogue and you just keep it to yourself, that's when it bottles all up. And that's when volcanic eruptions happen. And that's what I don't want. I mean, I want to be open about everything. Because as Roger knows, back in the day, I used to hold everything back inside. And then when the time came, just, so I'm not that person anymore. Now I'm just more obnoxious and loud and, a really bad drunk. So
very.
Yes. And I admit I am. So, but Roger, so
yes,
I broke my keyboard.
No, you
couple
didn't.
weeks ago.
No, you
I didn't
didn't.
break it, but the return button, I don't know if it just gave out, but the key came off, right? This right here, the return key. And I didn't think anything of it. I'm like, oh, I'll just pop it back in. But I think
And
there's hinges that hold the bottom spring on it or whatever,
yeah.
little ledge. So I tried fixing it myself. I have an actual kit, like an iPhone/tablet repair kit, and I can fix it. I'm like, shit. And it just feels weird not hitting that return button. So I bought a new one.
Is it
And
nice and flashy?
it's the black one. And it was
Oh,
like, it's like $10 more than this white one. And it looks dope. I mean, I like it. It goes with whatever color scheme you got going on with your mouse pad and your mouse. But anyway, what wound up happening was, I didn't even notice this, but it said 3 months free Apple Music, which I canceled because I use Spotify.
mm-hmm.
But they gave me 4 months free of Apple News Plus, and I was blown away by this shit. I was like, oh shit, like what the fuck? It was crazy. Like, okay, it's like having a magazine stash right in front of me.
Really? Why, there's
Like
something new every
Sports
day?
Illustrated. Yeah, it's really crazy. Or like, the weekly or monthly issues of a magazine like Sports Illustrated, Popular Mechanics, all that
Okay.
shit. It's pretty crazy. But the Apple News spotlights they're real down to earth, really well crafted, really well written. I don't know who the author of this thing that I just found is, but what did Michael say? Mike, I seen you at the whiskey tonight. I'm blown away. You guys are sick. Oh my God, Jonathan's pulling out the archives, dude.
What?
The old Rockstar archive.
Oh, all right.
Well, there's a video on my YouTube channel of me playing with the band.
Okay.
And it was a DVD that we just, there's a couple other ones that we have not found. But that was one of the very, very, very first gigs that we played.
Huh.
I don't know if you ever even came to the 2007 gigs.
I
But,
do remember. No, I remember one where we all went and
that was the
Justin.
House of Blues.
No. This was at the whiskey. When Justin got kicked out because he was holding his girlfriend's drink and he had the wristband
That
on.
that was like one of three Whiskey a Go-Go.
Yeah,
gigs.
I remember that one because I think I was there for that one. He got kicked out. When she told him, "Here, hold this," she's like, "Here, hold this," because she was fixing herself, like her shoe or something.
Yeah,
And the
I
guard
remember
saw
now.
him holding it, and he's like, "You have a wristband. You're not supposed to have alcohol. Get out."
I totally remember that. That was such a fucking bad deal. Hey, Beeks, that's Beeks right here. Jose Yepes, talk about El Pino. I am going to talk about El Pino because I got that news this week. And I'll enlighten people as to what El Pino is and like what obviously it came late. This is December news. We're trying to focus on the beginning to the end, which is going to be quite the ride, but I'll be sure to talk about that. Yeah, man, it's been the longest fucking year ever, dude. And I don't know who wrote this on the new spotlight on Apple News Plus, but it reads, it was by almost any measure a terrible fucking year. And I'm going to paraphrase this because it should say fucking on this text that it doesn't. But for all the pain and unspeakable tragedy, there was also growth and transformation, which is true. Mm-hmm. We saw some great journalism, absolutely, as writers crafted the first draft of history, which a lot went down this year. And those people are the ones that helped us understand our collective experience and uncovered the lessons we'll carry into the future, hopefully. Here's a look at the stories that helped define a year we can't and shouldn't forget. And I don't think we are. They had everything from the year's stunning photos to which I want to bring up is remembering the people we lost. And that brings me to January 26th, 2020 was a Sunday. It was a Sunday. if I remember correctly. And this is what happened. I mean, I don't exactly remember the sequence of the day, but I already knew that I believe the San Francisco 49ers and the Kansas City Chiefs were going to play in the Super Bowl. And the Super Bowl was going to be the following week, I believe. Or the following week. And of course, there was no, I think that Sunday was the break before Super Bowl. Because the conference championships were played the week before or the day before. I don't remember. It might have been the week before. But nonetheless, I was sitting down, just like I am now in front of my desk.
Right.
And bro, I saw a message on my fantasy football group chat that said, Kobe died. And I did not believe it. I'm like, fake news. I actually, out of all the things they said, I'm like, fake news. And I never use that phrase because it's such a stupid phrase.
I remember you sent the message to us and you're like, I guess it's not fake news because you sent the TMZ link. And I'm like, TMZ just dropped this. And I'm like, what? I'm like, really? Is this for real? And it turned out it was.
But out of all the things that they've reported on, they've been pretty legit because they're considered kind of the switch. They're considered the snitch of Hollywood and film.
I've always thought of them as being like, like the
National Enquirer.
Yeah, live action tabloid. They're there and they're
like Primer Impacto or what?
No, Primer Impacto is legit, dude. Come on. And El Rojo Vivo is legit too.
Not to mention the news anchors.
Oh, those news anchors. Hell yeah, man. I wish our news anchors would like that. I would watch.
Like, they're so real. But
yeah, but didn't they get in trouble? I mean, TMZ got in trouble for that shit, for dropping it like really, really early.
Yes, they did. And that's what kind of shook me. I'm like, wait a minute, Kobe's not dead. And then, of course, I don't know how they decided to just break that news. I already know. I mean, for clicks, obviously, because that single-handedly made them a ton of money, I'm sure. Don't ask how. I don't know how, but money travels when it comes to journalism and tabloids. But nonetheless, I was in fucking shock, dude. And then when I did find out, I started crying in front of my sister-in-law who was in the kitchen, who's a huge Kobe fan. My mother-in-law, who was also a big Kobe fan. My wife, who's a diehard Laker fan from the old school days too. And then my son, dude. My son saw me cry, and he to this day, he still remembers. He goes, Dad, I miss Kobe. Doesn't know who he is, but he knows that, he understood that moment how important Kobe Bryant meant to me. And I know a lot of people can't understand that. It's not so much like I don't know him personally. I don't, but the stuff he did athletically in a game that I have played before, which I cannot do any of the shit he did, he becomes a hero. Kind of like the best comparison I can contrast it to is film actors.
Okay.
Like how most people they fanboy or fangirl out on an actor, and there's a few that I'm like, if I still met him in person now, and I'm like, holy shit. You get
starstruck?
Yeah, one of them is Tom Cruise, regardless of his fucking Scientology status. It's Tom Cruise. Him, Denzel Washington.
Right. You mentioned
and back to my, top 5-6 actors of all time.
Yeah.
And I'll probably lose my shit if I ever ran into Jim Carrey. Don't you get me started on that. Like, I would probably just start spazzing out and oh my god, like start acting like Ace Ventura, and all
probably run away from you
at the same time.
He'll probably run away.
I'm fucking nut, dude.
Yeah, of course.
Coach Marrero, Anthony Marrero. Welcome back to the podcast. But the one thing I found was, I think it was an LA Times article with Kobe and coronavirus. I want to show you that. I saw it before, but of course, what shadowed the whole headline was, of course, that Kobe Bryant died. That was basically what happened. And okay, I'm looking at it now, and I can't believe you've never seen this, Roger. This is fucking crazy. Hi, Ashley. You're just in time. We're gonna cry a little bit, or not. I'm kidding. So you share the screen, and I show you this.
Uh-huh.
All right. So the first headline, of course, is that. That's
Yeah.
what you see, right? Now look at this. Look to the left.
Okay.
You read that?
Yeah.
What's the date on this? Monday, January 27th, 2020.
Well, that goes to show you that they knew about this ever since October of last year.
And
They
look
knew
at
about
this. Election 2020 poll shows Biden leads a volatile race in Iowa. So it says there, former Vice President Joe Biden leads the field a week before the opening Iowa caucuses, but 45% of those with a preference said it was still possible they might change their minds, which in fact they didn't.
it.
And all you fucking conspirators talking shit about fucking voter fraud can eat a big fat pito. But yeah, look.
Pingazo.
Un pingazo. Kobe Bryant, daughter among 9 killed in crash.
Yeah.
That's the big headline. There's Gigi right there. And then to the left is that. And look, it says, and I'll read it, drug makers are hustling to make a vaccine to counter the rapidly spreading respiratory virus that has sickened at least 1,975 people in China and 5 in the United States. You read that? I mean, I could read that repeatedly, but
Yeah. No, I already knew about like this whole shit. Since December, I was talking about it with my class and stuff. We're like, yeah, they're saying this. This is coming from.
January.
Yeah, because they knew about it since October of last year. All these videos were being leaked out from China. People in their social media,
Yep.
they were getting censored, and people were managing to leak these videos out of like, police, like, what looks like police, but they're like in these ambulances, and they're coming to apartment buildings and banging on your door to take your temperature and shit. And
Yep.
if you're just off by a bit, they grab you and they take you away. People were fearing their lives there. You know, and
Yeah.
it
So Robert, I
eh,
got only Slipknot fans will get that one.
everyone
So
everyone in
so
your
look,
in this
the
administration knew
National
about it.
Institutes of Health has partnered with the Boston area company Moderna on a
Yeah.
vaccine targeting the novel coronavirus. A Pennsylvania biotechnology company, Inovio, we haven't heard about them, also secured a $9 million grant from Norway-based Coalition for Epidemic Preparedness Innovations to develop a vaccine. That's the one thing. Of course, you really think anyone read that headline to the left?
No, I
No,
mean,
dude.
who reads the newspaper nowadays?
Yeah, and
What
it's
was
like
popping up on
you
social
really
media all the time?
all Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
All
So
Kobe Bryant. And
this,
it's fucking tragic that it happened, but I believe in opportunists, especially in this country. Or in any country, especially this one. But this is a prime example of opportunism, man.
mm-hmm.
This is like, okay, sell all your fucking shares of stock, buy these Moderna ones, buy these fucking, what is that company called? Inovio,
Yeah,
all that shit.
yeah.
It's like,
It's crazy,
Yeah,
you
it's
know.
fucking crazy. We'll
But
say, Don, you're just in time.
I kept saying it all over. Everybody. I mean, like my whole class, my instructor was like, "Really?" It's like, "Yeah, it's from Wuhan. It's this, that." I'm like, everything's leaking out from there, and it's coming. It's coming.
Here's
But
what my old colleague Carlos says. He said I got sick in October of last year, and when I went to the ER, they said my test results were inconclusive. But when I got there, they said I had the flu, and that's here's the other thing too. It's like I don't believe the flu just magically disappeared as the numbers so solemnly show. Like now there's no very little flu cases. I think it got so bad that there's no way of fucking tracking it now. It's that bad.
with
And
the
I
flu,
mean, coronavirus and the flu, and now we
well,
have a new strain
I mean,
it's like, man, dude.
the flu that we're fighting now is, I mean, there is no cure. There's still no cure for the cold, for the common
Yeah,
cold.
exactly.
But
Exactly.
we have treatments for it. But what we do have is we have that what they call herd immunity. So it doesn't spread as fast as what this corona is doing. So corona, like you're saying, is going to be the new thing. It's going to be our new flu, like you said before.
Yeah.
So I figure within 5 years, um, it's not going to be as bad as it was this year. You know, there's going to be cases, but it's not going to
Right.
be widespread. You know, so
Anthony said they told me I had a severe case of bronchitis, which I've heard upper respiratory infection like a year ago around this time. I heard about that. I heard people back then. Last year I was driving rideshare and I was picking up people from LAX that were coming in from China,
mhm,
and these people were wearing masks, and I
mhm.
was wondering why. I didn't want to ask them, but I heard them cough, and it didn't sound like a normal cough and cold, Roger. It sounded
Like a hacking
is
cough.
it a no, it sounded barky. It
Okay.
sounded barky, like dry. Nothing like in there. Like it sounded like it was just gonna get worse. That's what it sounded like. And now
Mhm.
after seeing videos online and other people sharing like their experience, especially on TikTok, man, I know there's a reason why. Now I know why TikTok was a big national security threat to the United States because a lot of people with a Chinese kind of backed app was going to begin leaking a lot of shit unbeknownst to the United States.
And it was.
You know,
Most of the videos
and
did come from TikTok. They
yeah,
mostly came from TikTok, and it was crazy. Like
it's
it's
a
like
dry,
really.
wheezy cough. That's what he said. Yeah, and Anthony fought COVID. Thank goodness that you're doing good. You fought it for he said almost like 2 weeks, and then some change because the side effects are just fucking brutal, man. And
Mm,
it sucks, dude. And a lot of people have been hitting me up saying, "Hey, you got to do kind of like a COVID special on the podcast." But here's the thing: I've never shied away from bringing it to light, and I've never shied away from putting a fucking Karen and a Kevin on the spot and shaming them for being ignorant, and at the same time, still wishing them like, "Hey, I hope you don't catch it, and if you do, I hope you survive it and you do well." And I mean well for your family too, because as you know, we have a friend that's in the ICU,
yeah.
and I've had other friends that have been on oxygen and got sent home with oxygen. It's like, okay, obviously it's real. It sucks.
Mhm.
What do we have to do to make it better? Let's see. Don said my daughter was sick in December last year, and they told us it was some rare respiratory virus. Yes, it was very new, and I caught something too in February, but it was just cough. I didn't lose my sense of taste or smell. But Roger, I'm reading that not everyone loses that.
Yeah, no, it's a symptom.
Every
It's just
symptom is different,
it's different. It varies from people. Yeah, yeah.
and I'm pretty
Yours
sure.
was a heavy cough, right?
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure because come on, man, I was having strangers in my car coming in from LAX and picking them up from downtown LA and all
Yeah.
that stuff. And I did test, Robert, and I tested negative, But here's the thing: is I just did the PCR test, which I know they're super sensitive and sometimes they're faulty. That's a fact. What I should have done is draw blood to see if I have. But I heard you're supposed to draw blood within a certain time frame to see if you have the antibodies. And Carlos said I had all the symptoms and I'm considered high risk due to being diabetic. I remember that. I was on the bed for 4 days, had no energy or appetite, and fever was the worst feeling ever. I believe it, dude. And yeah, back then there was no test. Yeah, back then it was like, oh, I was seeing people swab, and I'm like, well, I only see people swab when they're trying to find a match for like a stem cell transplant or some DNA evidence, whatever. I didn't think anything of it. But if you ask me, Roger, this is the first time I've ever seen PCR tests, dude. I've never seen them before.
I don't know what that is, but okay.
The PCR test is the one that they're doing when you drive up, and
okay, that's
basically they nose rape you. Yeah, it's abbreviated for something. I forgot.
I did that. Yeah, but they make you do it yourself. Like they don't.
Look at Vita Marie. I get the vaccine on the 2nd, and please tell us how it is, Vita. And I mean, because if I got to do it just to for the sake of even humanity or even my immediate circle, like, hey, get it. I experienced this, but here's the thing: is vaccines are not for everybody. Every immune system is created differently, and that's kind of like the.
But what vaccines are, from what they say, is vaccines are made with the immune system. They make sure that it bonds to the immune system, the human immune system, before they actually start, giving it out. So unless there's a major
6 months, yeah.
Unless there's side effects where people start turning into flesh-eating zombies, then we don't have anything to worry about.
I think here's the thing too, Roger. I mean, you and I we're comical like that. We have a wild fucking imagination, and does the thought fucking come across? Yes, it does. And it's not gonna happen. But the real issue is the side effects, the allergic side effects. That's what's scary. It's kind of like when have you ever seen people have a peanut allergy in front of you or like fish allergy?
No, but I've had a drug reaction allergy myself. So
I know, and it's horrible.
It's bad. It's really bad.
It's horrible. Like literally, you were shriveling up. I remember.
No, I was like, I don't know. I swear for a moment I thought I had bed bugs, and I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Like my whole body was just breaking out in all these like hives and bumps, and like they look like bug bites, and it was just like really bad and itchy and red, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? And I called my doctor, and he's like, it's probably the antibiotic we gave you because it's sulfa based, so I'm allergic to sulfa drugs, so I can't have any of that shit.
That's crazy. So this is the definition, and I'll put it up on the screen right now so everyone can see it. I was curious as to what kind of tests they were conducting for COVID-19. And of course, I found what it was. And this is what it is. It's a PCR test. So how does the PCR testing for COVID-19 work? It's a polymerase chain reaction testing that can detect even very small amounts of viral genetic material in a sample by duplicating it many times over through a complex laboratory process called amplification. Now, that's exactly what it's done. And dude, when they did it to me, I had a humongous sneeze attack, and it was horrible. It felt like I've had those sneeze attacks when I have, I don't know if I have just kind of like a mild allergy to wheat or any kind of like barleys. But like, for example, if a beer is too hoppy, Roger, and I drink too much of it, I get a sneeze attack. That's why I don't really like drinking like those triple IPAs or quadruple IPAs, because it's just too much hops.
Just a regular IPA is too much hops.
So we'll stick with that. It's like, okay. And you already know, you never liked IPAs because of the bitterness, and they taste like medicine. Yeah.
I hate it.
But let's see.
I did this test.
Oh shit.
And I had to do it myself. because
Oh, you had to do it yourself?
yeah, they did not.
I
They
was
did. They're
so
like,
lucky I had someone do it for me. Wow.
open your window. So I had to like stick it up there, and they're like, higher, higher, and like, and they're like, turn it, and I was just like ready to sneeze. Like
Yeah.
I couldn't. I had to hold it back because they said if like if you didn't want to contaminate, the thing, sneezing
Yeah.
could do that. So it was bad, and
So
you had to do both nostrils. Like shit.
yeah, I did one nostril and then I did behind my throat. So Vita said if you have allergies to food or other medications, they won't let you get the vaccine. One of her friends can't get it because she has a shell allergy. Yeah, shellfish. Those things are crazy. I've seen those allergies for shellfish, and it's EpiPen rushed. She has to
Mm.
get tested every 2 weeks. God, man, that's so crazy. Um, Anthony says, I'm not allergic to anything, but I got hives at one time. And Mr. Danicho is here. I love IPAs, but if I have too many, IP out my A. Punchline, Roger is a comedian,
I
remember?
get it. I get it. Dun, dun, dun.
You don't laugh at anything. So, okay, so that
I
was
laugh at you.
January. I know because I'm stupid. So January was obviously a crapshoot. We
Right.
had Kobe dying, and then obviously there was already a race to get a vaccine developed by Moderna and some other company. And obviously Moderna is the one that I guess got FDA approved just recently because it has less side effects or something like that.
Hmm.
And then, okay, so what happened in February?
Well, I can
Uh,
tell you in January with my school, because we were right in the same parking lot as this hospital was at. We were in the same area. They knew right away. They're like, "Yeah, we're probably gonna have to go online because we're getting too many cases. There's like all these cases showing up here at this hospital. This is in Whittier, you know." And they're like,
yeah,
"Yeah, we're 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 gonna go online." So in February, that was a transition, and that's where I went because they knew some shit was going down, but they knew right away because of the hospital next door was getting all these
yeah.
cases from like these strange, like everybody was saying that it's this virus, it's a weird virus, that's spreading fast. And that's when I told my
Wow.
instructor, I'm like, yeah, dude, this is that virus that's coming from China. They're trying to stop it, but it's already here,
But
so
that's the never ending debate is like, did it really come from China or is the origin unknown? And Wuhan was kind of like the testing site because remember, Italy was also plagued with it too.
well, yeah, I
Um,
mean, a lot of people were a lot of countries were hit by it, but you gonna look at the size of those countries too. Italy is not that much big. It's not very big, so it spread quickly there. For it to hit the United States and spread the whole thing, it took that long. It took that span of 3 or 4 months for it to do so. You
no,
know,
totally.
but
So,
I get it. I mean, yeah, maybe it wasn't from China, and maybe it could have been somewhere else, like you're saying, or you can say that maybe it was an experiment, or you know something where, like I think you mentioned it one time, maybe it was sabotage, where they're working on this virus, and then
probably
somebody got let go, or someone, and then this guy's like, I'm gonna fuck shit up, and grabbed it and leaked it out. Who knows?
could have been,
There's
man.
all this, there's all these theories out
Nothing
there.
surprised me at this point because 2020 has just been a fucked up year and monthly, like I'm tracking it. And this was 2020, February 2020's current events. Remember, we had two shootings in one day.
Hmm.
I don't know if you remember that. That was fucking wild. Like I thought, I'm like, okay, here we go again, right? Because before all this coronavirus shit, we were averaging shootings what every 2 months.
Hmm.
It was bad. And let's see, two shootings in one day. And what that was, it was on February 3rd, a gunman attacked a Greyhound bus in California, here in our home state. The shooter killed one person and injured another five before the passengers overcame him. So that was February 3rd. And there was a delay in the Iowa caucus because remember, they were beta testing, kind of like vote on an app or some shit like that. It was bad, and it didn't. That's why there was a delay in there.
Okay.
But technology issues were blamed for the delay in Iowa caucus. That was the fourth. The delay in causing chaos, as the results could shine light on which Democratic candidate will face President Trump in this year's election. And then this happened on the 5th. He was acquitted on both articles of impeachment.
I remember that.
Yes. And then first American dies of coronavirus. Died of coronavirus in Wuhan. The death was announced hours after 2 flights evacuated U.S. citizens from Wuhan. This is the first American to die from the virus that has killed hundreds in China. And now, are we leading the whole world in deaths? We are, huh?
Yes. Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah. So, of course, there was a shooting inside an Atlanta restaurant. That shit was captured on video. That shit was really, really, really scary. All that shit's scary. Ruptured gas line in Texas and Corpus Christi. That shit was really fucking scary too. Boy Scouts of America files for bankruptcy. Sewage leak in Fort Lauderdale. A swarm of bees attacks first responders. Oh God, that's crazy. Mass shooting in Milwaukee. See what I mean? And that was the month of February. All months. The main thing that should have been the focus of should have been COVID-19, and it wasn't.
In a way, yes and no, but
USA were number one.
It could have handled it a whole lot better. This administration could have handled it a whole lot better than what it did. Because with all the knowledge that they had gotten the year before.
Remember that map I showed you of countries that kind of like beat COVID?
Beat COVID?
Not beat, but they basically like mitigated, and just their cases are so low.
Well, okay, yeah. I think I remember that one. Yeah, where they were taking all these other different precautions than just a lockdown.
Well, because I know, for example,
isn't that what they were doing?
New Zealand and Australia has very strict immigration laws, right? Like you can't just get off the plane in an airport. You get stuck in the airport if you're not allowed, and you have to fly back.
Right now to go to Australia, it's a mandatory 14-day quarantine in one of their hotels.
Yeah. Isn't one of them from India? I don't know. That's a good question. But now, which brings us to March. March 2020 is when it all started going downhill, Roger.
Yeah.
And of course, here in the legend, it's in the preface, it's table content, sorry. There was an air attack in Turkey. And what happened there was at least 33 Turkish soldiers were killed after an airstrike launched from Syria. We already know how fucking crazy Syria is right now. The strike has led to heightened tension between the two countries that were just days away from withdrawing troops. Coronavirus updates around the world. And on March 4th, Japan announced it will quarantine visitors from China, South Korea due to COVID-19. The visit of China's president has also been delayed. So already, look, they were already, I guess, could you call it a head start? I don't know. Because if there was a race for a vaccine in January, this should have been done a lot earlier, I think, man. I don't know, but I'm no expert on, pandemics, but and then, but look, on March 5th, Italy announced it will shut down all schools for a few weeks and try to contain the coronavirus. All professional sporting events will have no fans in the stadium for the next month. So far, 107 people have died. See, that was on March 5th. You see that? And then Iran announced it would temporarily free 54,000 prisoners in an attempt to curb the issue.
Yeah, you see, but my what I don't understand is how come we didn't handle this? Like, how come our country didn't handle it much better than this? Than what they did? Because to my understanding, they have simulations. They run simulations constantly when it comes to terrorist attacks or something like that. If there's a threat to the American public, they have a simulation for it. And this all goes back to what I told you when I don't know if I mentioned it on your podcast before, but I told you about this before. There was a simulation done back in 2001 called Operation Dark Winter. And they did that
Mm.
when they said, what would happen if a virus like smallpox were to be released in our country? And they saw that within 48 hours, our whole infrastructure died. Like it was gone because people were being killed off by this freaking virus. So
Yeah,
they should have
that's pretty.
contingency plans for this shit, you know? But again, like I said, our commander in chief didn't really believe. Like he was in the dark. I don't know. He was in the clouds. That's why that's why, in my own personal opinion, is once he's out of office, this guy should fucking go get prosecuted. Like, like those, like a fucking Nazi who was prosecuted for war crimes. He should
Here's what I don't
he should be
understand, and
put in the guillotine for this shit.
here's the thing that Anthony brings up. It was actual Donald Trump's plan was to let everyone get infected, but why? Why? I ask why. Is he that sadistic? Is he that fucking that evil? I don't know.
Usually
Who-
when it comes to sacrificing human life for something, it's to benefit the people behind the curtain. It's to benefit their pockets, you know. And
and the son of a
you,
bitch fucking caught it himself,
and you
and
put it.
they injected him with everything just to
They gave him
fucking
the
help.
cocktail. Yeah, they gave him the cocktail because they already have something, dude. I'm telling you, they knew about this back in October. They had a race for the vaccine in January. They must have something already set just in case people who are really important catch it. They give them that cocktail, and in 2 or 3 days, they're fucking fine. This is how it works. It's how it is. And think about it. You even posted a retweet from his daughter that said that he's invested or he's part of
Yeah,
Moderna, you know? So he's gonna benefit from this thing once it's all calmed down, once
yeah,
everything is like okay, once everything's like out of the red zone, they're going to start saying, all right, well, we're going to charge you guys for this vaccine every month. We'll just bill your insurance and shit like that, like a flu shot or like HPV shot, shit like that. It gets billed to
right.
your insurance. And who's going to benefit from it? The drug company, the pharmacist, the pharmaceutical company, and their investors. You know, it's all done so that way people can get money, and it's always been like that for a long time. That's why
That's so fucking dumb, dude.
it it
Like,
it's sad, but it's true. You know, the only way for someone to get rich is by killing off the other people who's going to share in the bounty. That's how it usually works with money. It's the root of all evil. That's why they say that.
that's fucked up, man. I mean, I don't I just don't know how people even think like that. I can understand the gangster way of doing it because you're out for revenge or you're trying to acquire a territory to traffic drugs. Is
No,
is
no.
that the cause here? I
The
don't know
the
because I don't
cause
know how.
you have to think. I forgot who said this, but the most evil actions caused in the world are done because of good intentions. Okay, so
So they meant
usually
well to begin with.
they meant well to begin with, but in reality, it turned out like to be something very, very terrible. So think about it. Remember when I asked you, I started showing you these ads for like this video game, and it said, "Where were you?" It's like when this power went out, or do you have medication? Then it said, "Do you have a gun? Does your neighbor have a gun?" These questions were being asked, and I asked you, Edgar, if it came down to a point where I have medication for me and my family, but your son is sick and you don't have it. Would you shoot me in the head for that? And you
That's a
said,
tough call.
but it's your only choice, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, you said yes. Yeah. I
Yeah.
remember. Yeah, you said yes.
It's
Because
either you have what I need.
I don't have a gun, but you have a gun.
Yeah.
So would you shoot me in the head in order to get that? And you're like, yeah, because it's for my son. Of course, because people do things because they feel like it has to benefit their family. It has to benefit for themselves and their family, but most
Oh,
importantly, their
absolutely.
family. So if you have money put away, then it's okay for you to say, well, I can die at peace because my family will be taken care of, you know?
Right.
So a lot of evil things, a lot of bad things were done because, like I said, because of good intentions. And most of the good intentions, and the main one is because I want to protect my family, you know. So
Right. And
I would kill my brother to save my son.
now, is
Something like
suicide
that.
bombing a good intention? That's a different fucking story, man. It's like
Guess
that
what?
that's a need of the ego that's met differently by killing yourself. That's
They
weird.
they do it for martyrdom. That's why they do it,
That's fucking crazy. That's
because
so
they
fucking
believe that if they become a martyr, they are guaranteed a free ride or a guaranteed, you know, entry to the paradise. That's a belief. That's a belief. That I mean, I could be wrong. You know, someone could correct me, but I could be wrong. But that's how I read it. So I may be misreading it or misinterpreting it, but it's all for martyrdom.
yeah. And then, continue on about COVID,
Uh-huh.
March 9th, Ireland announced it will cancel all St. Patrick's Day parades and intend to curb the coronavirus. On March 12th, Uganda announced that it will be restricting travel to and from countries affected by coronavirus. Yeah, you know what what's mind-boggling to me is we went from calling it coronavirus to COVID-19. Why? Because it's shorter.
No, because there's other forms of coronavirus out there. You know that.
Right, right.
I
And
mean, the
then
SARS virus that hit us back in what 2002, 2003, that was a form
yeah,
of corona. So
I
that's
know
why a lot
Spain
of the
was on complete
Lysol products,
lockdown.
a lot of those disinfectant products that even before coronavirus hit us said kills all forms of known forms of coronavirus, like on the bottle. And I'm reading this. So
Yeah,
how do they know about this? This is new, right? And like that's because
it's
of other
human
forms.
coronavirus because I've seen that before, and I'm like, what is that?
Yeah.
And then because of that, the 2020 Olympics in Tokyo were going to be postponed, which they already
Yeah.
did. It'll take place next year. And
Hopefully.
then here comes Leroy Jenkins, the fucking wild card of the world. North Korea on March 28th launched an unidentified projectile off the coast of Japan. And this is the sixth launch in the last month, right there in March. So Japan, South Korea, and the United States have all acknowledged the launch, but have yet to release what type of projectile it is. Because I'm pretty sure they don't ask. They're not gonna ask, like, oh yeah, just watch out for this thing that we're gonna fire into the fucking sky. You really think North Korea does that? No, dude. And that's how tensions rise. Like, what the fuck are these? It's like that crazy neighbor you have
Uh-huh.
that you don't know what's he up to next, and then before you know, you catch him over the fence trying to grab fucking oranges from your tree.
Oh God. And it wasn't even
What?
that.
And look at it. It was a flock of killer
Killer
pigeons.
pigeon.
Wow. He's asking for North Korea to get turned into a parking lot. Fuck, man. So that
Wow.
happened, and that was March. Okay,
That was
all that
March.
shit was happening, and there was COVID-19, man, still going on. And what happened for us here in LA
We
in
got our
March?
lockdown orders.
And that was single-handedly like, that's like, again, it started going, it was pretty much downhill from there, man.
I mean,
It's
yeah,
crazy.
people were afraid for their businesses. People were afraid of, not being able to, just go out and see somebody. It sucks, but again,
Uh,
it's a means to what do you call it? Means to an end, I guess. It in the long run, it's gonna do more good than bad. Yeah, I
Now,
mean
I mean,
that's
April,
my
obviously
my
it
opinion.
was a crapshoot. I mean, April was pretty much, this is how we're gonna live for the next, what was it? How long did the lockdown last?
It was supposed to be until June, wasn't it? Or
No, I
May?
remember at first they were just talking about a 3 week shutdown, and we anticipated that April date, remember?
But then they said they're
And
pushing it
they
to
said
to it went into June.
exactly. And
And
then which brings me to May, May was very significant because it set the pace for where we are now. And I'm looking at this timeline. So multiple car dealerships are burglarized, coronavirus updates, murder hornets spotted in the US,
oh yeah, those
a
things.
shooting, a shooting in Texas, State Department Inspector General fired, shooting in Louisiana, and of course, Black Lives Matter.
Hmm.
Um, so the car dealership thing, I read about the on May 1st, and it on May 1st, it was reported that 46 cars over $1 million worth were stolen from 12 different dealerships in North Carolina. The first car was stolen in mid-March. Police revealed that there are 19 suspects, all minors between 9 and 16 years old.
What the fuck?
That
Wow.
is fucking crazy. Like, this is like something out of like Gone in 60 Seconds, dude.
But for kids.
Yeah, it's like, but then again, come on, man. You grew up, especially like us. We made a choice. We could have easily gone into all kinds of fucking travesuras, dude. But
Yeah.
we didn't. We made a choice not to. We had other outlets. But unfortunately, not every young kid has that outlet. And unfortunately, a lot of kids are born into the outlet itself that's already there. You're born into a life of gangsterdom. You're born into a life of
Third
work.
generation gangsterdom.
Yeah, you're born into, like, it depends. Like, what shapes you long term too is the environment you're immersed in.
Right.
Like, for us, it was always sports, it was music, it was video games, it was movies. Like, that was our immersion. That's why, I don't know if you ever noticed, but we were kind of like of course, we were the geeks, but at the same time, we were cool geeks because we pass no judgment on anybody. But I can't say the same for, other geeks that we knew that were fucking pretentious as fuck and would judge other people just because they weren't just like them. And I did not like that. That
Hmm.
was fucked up. But my point is, if you're 9 years old and you're stealing cars,
Something wrong.
yeah, something went wrong, and hopefully it'll get fixed. But so coronavirus updates. So okay, on May 1st, the governor of Nuevo Mexico, New Mexico, declared a state of emergency due to coronavirus. I remember, and I have my best friend Jesse and my best friend Golden Joe MMA. That's what he calls himself on Instagram, Jose. Whatever. They all live in Albuquerque, and they were basically saying, "Hey, we're right behind you, but I don't think we're gonna get there. We don't know." And then boom, they got hit too. And I'm like, shit. And now they're kind of in the same boat as us. But the population in New Mexico is not, obviously California is fucking huge. There's a bunch of
Yeah.
people here.
Yeah.
Texas and then Florida. It's fucking crazy how this look. And then this murder hornets spotted in the US.
Hmm.
On May 4th,
Scary.
a highly venomous and invasive hornet species dubbed murder hornets have been spotted in the US. The hornets originated in Asia, but have been spotted in Washington state. They have been killing the already dying bee population, which is crazy, man. Did you ever see the pictures of a murder hornet?
I've seen videos from Japan, what they do, and it is vicious. Like
There's videos.
merciless. Yeah, dude. There's little cameras in the hive.
Money.
It is like they just grab a bee, dude. The bee is like that. Oh, there's my camera. It's like that big, and a murder hornet's like that big. Fucking grab a bee by the head, and they just take the head off. Next. Just take the head off. Go to the next one. Take the head off. What they're trying to do is just take over that hive. It is merciless, dude. You'll find it if you look for it. You'll find it. You'll find videos.
Wait
It
a
is
minute. They
scary,
have
dude.
videos of a praying mantis versus a murder hornet.
Oh, really?
What the fuck?
I know praying mantises are vicious too.
Now we gotta watch it because I was not even like.
This is a segue.
I put murder hornet kills bee.
Yeah.
And all this shit comes up, but now I'm curious. This showdown right here. What's gonna happen? Oh wow!
They
They even
have
had
a sound.
Oh, and some nasty stuff in there. There needs to be a bite almost. Holyfield is very unhappy. Look at this.
Is it the Holyfield Tyson fight?
I don't know.
It looks as if Tyson bared his teeth.
It is.
Yeah, that's what Holyfield was in a lot of pain from that. Blood on the ear. That was definitely a bite.
Wait a minute. That's a murder hornet?
Yeah, dude.
Wait, a mantis is killing it?
Yes. Look at it. It's doing it right
What
there.
the fuck? It's eating its head, dude. He's biting the ear. Yes, he is, dude.
Yeah, dude. Praying mantises, they're scary.
Have you seen the pictures of human-sized bats? Yeah, I seen those. I'll fuck them up. Fuck those bats. Dude, what the fuck? I'm assuming he's going to lose this fight.
Mm-hmm. Well, he already did. Look, half his head's gone.
Running very, very hot.
TKO, man. This guy. Okay, well, I got to see a murder hornet lose.
Now watch the murder hornet kill a beehive.
This one I saw. Holy shit. What the fuck? Hold on. Let me see. What the fuck? A black scorpion versus a giant hornet. Oh, fuck. Who wins this one?
Oh, man. Now you're getting picado on this shit, dude.
Well, you opened the gateway to this shit.
I just told you that there's a video.
All right. My money's on the murder hornet because he's throwing a lot of action. And you fucking idiot. Got to bob and weave, man. Come on. And you got
him.
Up, didn't you? Wait for the stinger.
No, this scorpion's not going to sting because it's too big. Doesn't need to.
Fucking murder hornet, dude. You're all hype, and then when it comes to the... See what I mean? You hyped up the murder hornet for me, and it keeps losing fights.
I never hyped shit up, dude.
What the fuck? I'm over here like looking at the Vegas odds and shit. Going, murder hornet's favored by 120, minus 120. And dude, the total disadvantage to the poor bees, man.
Their whole thing is to destroy bees. That's what they do. That's what I said.
Fuck, man. Jeez.
And it's fucked up.
It seems to me like they're bullies, man. That's exactly what the fuck they are. Fucking murder hornets. Hope they all die. Damn it. But
let's
okay, May 4th.
Let's go. Let's make this faster.
Man, this is the last podcast of the year. What you talking about? 1 month.
So we're gonna go 4 hours on this shit. All right, let's go. Because it feels like that.
No, I mean, I'm just gonna skim through some of this shit, and then of course we'll get to our nostalgia part. But we
can keep talking about 2020. It's just like all this news, like bad news. It's kind of depressing, man.
Well, that's exactly what 2020 was. But again, this is what I wanted to bring up because I had mixed feelings about the protests only because I saw the bad stuff first and not more of the good stuff. And I actually went to a peaceful protest in Rosemead here in the city of Rosemead, and then in Temple City, which is a little bit bigger, but it didn't get violent. And there was no pushback. But I know a lot of people were feeling the tension. I get that you're supposed to spread the message like that, but also the violent part, I just didn't understand. That's where I kind of backed off a little bit, because I wasn't about that. I was about, hey,
There's two.
I see good cops. I see them. Thank you. But definitely the knuckleheads, the bad cops, I definitely see them. Like, okay.
There's two
Okay.
reasons to pop off violence. One is the people are just frustrated. You know, it's a pressure valve that broke. You know, like how you said before, it's like things were bottled up. Things were getting tired. People were getting sick and tired of taking it, and violence erupts.
Absolutely.
Two, the only other reason why violence erupts is because there's people who want to take advantage of the situation to get free shit.
Of course, that happens with a Laker championship, and most recently a Dodger World Series championship. Again, opportunists, opportunism.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is, and it demeans.
But
it puts a blemish on the actual original. Like you said, good intentions gone awry.
The sad thing is, those people who start that shit don't even fucking live in that city, or don't even live in that state. They know that's like, oh, this is gonna happen. Let's go start some shit, and steal some fucking shoes. And
Light some shit on fire, and that's kind of how May ended. And remember, in May, what wound up happening is Memorial Day weekend happened, and some places were open, right? And just as things were beginning to look really promising, like, okay, we might just have this on the wraps and we can get back to normal, I guess, life, because at that point we already locked down for almost 2 months.
Yep.
Right. And then June happened. And what happened in June? We went right back to square one.
Yep.
And
that's
kind of where we started.
Did we get our first round or our first stimulus check in April? Was it in April?
It was in July. No, I think the stimulus checks were in July. I don't think I got a stimulus check till July.
Was it?
I believe. I think it was July.
I don't remember.
Nonetheless, I'm like, a lot of that money kind of ran out, man, for a lot of people. And
$1,200 is not a lot to live in California.
Anthony said April. I don't recall. Did I get a deposit in April?
I'm pretty sure it was in April.
Oh, you know what? Yes, because then unemployment collection started in July. I remember now. Yes. But that's kind of where we are now. And June happened, July happened, August happened, and I think we started seeing really.
During those times, I think during those times, state officials, state, city, law enforcement, they were just more worried about people gathering, especially when it came with, like the holidays and stuff. So I think a lot of that just went by, in a way, it kind of went by quick, but it was more like a sedative to me, this whole year. It kind of went slow, but it was kind of fast too, because I just let it roll by. I don't know about everybody else. They had a lot of, I've seen people with so many problems. Hell, I had my own problems,
But, absolutely.
But we had to deal with it, and here we are.
It says, I'm sure the protests spread it, but they would never say that on the news. And that's where I completely agree. And that's kind of like also me, man, when the pendulum swings too heavy on one side, it leaves you no choice but to say, okay, either you go to the other side or you stay in the middle, to, like me, in hopes that, okay, maybe there'll be some balance. And the idea of balance now is kind of what is kind of what the Sith think of now. That's exactly what it is.
You're mixing Star Wars into this?
But it's true, man. It's so true. And I refer to that because
explain it, please.
Order is their balance. Order is their balance, ruled through fear, ruled through uncertainty, ruled through
destruction.
Through destruction, exactly. And what do people do? There's only two things they do: they fight or they flee. That's our natural instinct.
Or they succumb.
Or they conform. And I know a lot of people that, that creed of, Zapatistas, for example, it's better to die on your feet than to live on your knees.
Yep.
I know a lot of people that strongly believe in that. And am I one of those people? To an extent, because I have to know, there's got to be a constant first and foremost. And I have to think why I'm saying yes and why I'm saying no. A lot of people don't do that. A lot of people are impulsive. That's what's been happening, Roger. I mean, what else are you going to tell people? Like, don't think like this, because a lot of people have been doing that. They've been pushing that philosophy, that narrative, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, man, it's like, yeah, having a family does change that. And also having, elderly parents live with you, or someone that's what's the term?
Compromised.
Deficient, immunocompromised. What are you going to do? It's like, fuck, man.
Again, goes back to, you will pretty much do anything to protect your family. Yeah.
Which reminds me of, so recently, I'm going to segue into the subject. Roger sent me a comic book PDF of The Last Ronin. Now, what was it?
Well, okay, I thought we were going to go from 90s nostalgia here a bit, when we were kids in the 90s and stuff. We grew up with a lot of different little heroes, a lot of different cartoon shows, a lot of different things. And one of them, I'm sure everybody knows them, is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Correct.
And sure enough, this is something where it was created, where I just recently found out, because when I was a kid, I did not know about it, but the Ninja Turtles were originally a comic book. And it was a comic book drawn by two guys that were, just drew it out of this house they were living in. And it was a huge hit because it was an indie comic, and people were like, wow, they were the Turtles that we know were nothing compared to what they originally were. They were really dark.
Right. It was a very morbid type of story.
Yeah, it was like, I mean, when I saw it the first time, I was like, wow, this looks really not like what I'm used to seeing. But one, they didn't have different colors. They all wore red. Two, in the first issue, they fucking kill the Shredder. They brutally
they
show it. They show it with his head flopping off. I was like, oh, wow. But it was a huge hit, and everybody loved it. So they started making more and more and more comic books, and sure enough, it was because of the toys that we got the cartoon show. And the cartoon show was only made to promote the toys, like how everything was done when we were kids. Yeah, that's how it was. So this story that I sent you, that I told you, and I think I told you and Devin about it back in was it September or August, where they're saying, they're going to release this comic, they're going to release this story about the Ninja Turtles. It's called The Last Ronin. And this was originally, what I found out, was originally written back in 1987. So
that's interesting. That's
Eastman
very
and Laird, they wrote it out, and they're like, we're gonna. I guess they wanted to do it to close off the comic books that they were creating, but people loved them so much they made a deal. All it just a huge thing just happened, and they were one of the definitive iconic um, pop culture figures of the 90s, Ninja Turtles.
Oh,
So
totally.
and they still
That
are
goes
to
without
this day
saying.
because you're constantly rebooted. But this one, this miniseries that it's a miniseries. It's going to be released in 5 issues, and this is the first one. This really fucking got me like interested, and I sent it to you as a Christmas present because it was for you, your Christmas present, and you didn't
Yeah,
open it in time, asshole.
no, I
And
did. I just didn't read it
oh, okay,
until just like today,
and
and
I'm
me,
sure a
me,
lot
I
of
read
people.
pretty fast. So
Well, yeah, you have to. But I'm sure a lot of your listeners or viewers know Ninja Turtles, but I'm pretty sure they know about this one. If not, The Last Ronin, what the story is about, is it takes place in a dystopian future. Originally, it was supposed to take place in the year 2017, 30 years from 1987. But now they changed it and they said, oh, so we're going to do it 30 years from this decade. So it's in the year, well, they did it 20 years instead. So it's now taking place in the year 2040. And there's this turtle dressed in black.
yeah,
And I just love how he's just talking to himself. And it's like, well, who's he talking to? Why is he talking? And it turns out he's talking to the spirits of his 3 dead brothers. So The Last Ronin is a story about the Ninja Turtles. 3 of them are dead. One of them survived, and he's out for revenge. The thing is, we don't know who's dead, and we don't know who survived, because this turtle is utilizing all the weapons of his brothers.
yeah,
So
yeah. He's
so it's hard.
stolen all 4 of the
Yeah,
weapons.
like he's like this thing. This the way they portray him in this assault is just merciless. He's just like so determined to go after this.
Which is very rare for me to picture that character, Michelangelo.
What the hell, dude? Like, I
Well,
told you not to spoil it for everybody, man.
Robert just guessed it. Look at that. He gave
Okay,
away the letter.
fuck, man. Oh,
Spoiler
you did,
alert!
but this. You didn't have to put it up. You didn't have to put it up. You just wanted to say it, huh? You're
Yeah,
a
I did.
dick, dude. Man, you
I
ruined it for
can't
everybody.
believe Darth Vader is really Luke Skywalker's father. Oh,
You
thanks a
know
lot, buddy.
that that is your you have like you call me a fucking closet snitch. That's your fucking problem, dude. You like to
No,
spoil
you're a
shit.
dry snitch.
A
I'm
dry
just a
snitch,
spoiler.
whatever. You're an ass. Well, you gave it away to everybody, so fuck.
Well, let's talk about this though.
But yeah,
Why
okay.
why
There's
Michelangelo?
That's the thing. We don't know. That's what's bringing up
That's
more
the
questions.
real mystery. Okay, you find out who it is,
But
and
that's
then
it.
what the fuck? Like what happened? Yeah, exactly.
That's
And
it.
issue 2 just got released on the 16th.
No, issue 2 is coming out next in February.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
what was December 16th? Was that the one that you just sent?
No, the December 16th was supposed to be the director's cut of the first issue.
Oh, of the Ronin. Okay.
Yeah. So
The Last Ronin.
there's
So,
a lot of
so
questions that need to be answered, you know. I mean, if people, I'm pretty sure you can read it online. You can download it, you know, it's pretty cheap. I got mine off the App Store for like $5, you know. Check it out. It's really awesome. If you're a turtle fan, you're going to love this. Um it it it's just it I love it because one, it's done by Eastman, one of the original creators, and I think it's
yeah.
actually both of them are doing it or working on it. I think it goes back to their roots. It goes back to what the Ninja Turtles was supposed to be, what it is, you know. And um, I like it. I'm like, I feel like, wow, this is so cool. When we got to the ending, and you're like, so how does she know who he is? I'm like, well, obviously because she was there when the other 3 died. You know, they died 10 years before it. I just can't wait. I can't wait to see what's going to
Now,
happen next.
one thing I will not spoil is who killed the other three.
Oh, well,
That's what really got me. I mean, it was one thing to find out who it was, but what was surprising to me was the actual history. Like, oh shit, the other three are dead. Who was responsible for their death? And I found out, I was like, oh,
well, yeah,
okay,
it tells
this
you.
is
It tells
interesting.
you
That
the
is
issue.
interesting, though.
It
It's
tells you the
interesting,
issue.
and I'll leave it for
Yeah, but
everyone to look
you
out.
basically ruined the whole thing. You ruined it for these people.
Because you know what? You're gonna
You-
wonder who it is the entire time, and then you
And
find out.
And I was gonna say you're gonna find
You're left
out.
hanging. You're left
No,
hanging,
no,
and then
you're
you
gonna
need an explanation.
no, you're gonna find out who it was at the very last page. That's what the whole thing was about. And you killed it for everybody. You killed it for your audience. You suck.
Hey, man, I can't believe Darth Vader's Luke Skywalker's father.
I can't believe
You believe
Luke
that?
Skywalker is gonna come back in the Mandalorian. Oh,
Everyone knows that. I knew that before even watching the series. But it's like when you actually see it. I was watching all these reaction videos on YouTube, and of course it's it's CGI, but it's
yeah.
a very damn good CGI. Like they deep fake this one pretty accurately.
Yeah, but it's
But the pace of the entire
it's not canon, so we don't know yet.
it's not what?
Canon,
What's canon?
dude. You don't know what canon means?
No,
Term canon.
no. Only canon I know is this cannon right here that I had. Uncle Rico could throw that football over the mountains. That's a
okay.
cannon.
I have another canon, but I can't. Yeah.
What's canon?
But it basically means that it's legit. It's been how do I put it? It's been, what's the word I'm looking for?
It's actually validated by
Yes,
everyone.
that's it. Yeah, it's been validated by the creators, by the creators itself. That means it's canon. It's canon. It's true. It's gonna happen. I don't know if you've ever you read these blogs or watch videos and shit about upcoming shit, and then most people would say, yeah, this isn't canon, but this is canon, so it's true. So the things that I've been watching, I don't think it's canon. So yeah. Yes, you learned something new today.
Okay.
You learned something new today.
It's canon.
I learned something.
Let me learn you.
Okay.
Let me learn you. But the other kind of nostalgic thing that this is interesting how I came up on this, because we were talking about it on Christmas Eve, how the evolution of Christmas gifts have changed. And
well, you guys were talking about that like in your family?
Yeah, I mean, I was reminiscing to it with the youngsters, and
okay.
And which brings me to that. Yes, I remember getting a Karate Kid action figure set, and let me show you what it used to look like. From, I believe it was 1986. I had Daniel LaRusso, and I had I think it was Crease. So let me show you guys exactly what it looks like. And in all fairness to people who grew up going to Toys R Us, I got my set of action figures there at the Rosemead location right off of Rosemead Boulevard, where the first ever UFC gym is built down now. But I had this one. This is the one I had. And this is the Daniel LaRusso, I believe, from part 2, I believe.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's part 2.
Yeah, and I'm looking at like the current, like today's action figures, and they're just so much different. And I had Crease, which is this, he had a breakaway chair in this one. that. And I could not, for the life of me, get this one. This is the one I wanted the most. I wanted Mr.
Mr.
Miyagi.
Miyagi.
Yes. Which brings me to this next topic, which is Cobra Kai season 3. Cobra Kai season 3.
I like the new trailer. That was so cool.
And I'm gonna
Did you change
refrain
the date?
from playing trailers now because I got flagged for it on YouTube, which is stupid.
Okay.
They made me cut out that segment out of the podcast because it detects it. But season 3, of course, is debuting on January 1st on Netflix. And I'm pretty stoked about it because, damn, dude, this was such a good fucking series to begin with. And I was you and I being on the same family group. At first, it was exclusive to YouTube Premium, so we were watching it there.
Yeah.
And now it's on Netflix, and I'm just like, oh man, dude.
Oh man.
He said I'm gonna binge watch that on Friday. What? Binge watch that now, man. And you can find those at Target now. The action figures. I didn't even know that. You should make reaction videos to Cobra Kai. Absolutely, because usually when people make reaction videos to brand new seasons of a dope ass series like this one, it's either is it the first episode or the last episode?
I don't know, but it's a bad idea with you.
Why? Because I spoil it?
You'll spoil it. Yes.
That's what you're supposed to do in the reaction videos. If you see them,
No, you're not. You're not. No, you're
yes,
not.
I do.
No, you're
Yes,
not.
I do.
No.
I'll show you some. I mean, offline. I won't show it on here because I'll get fucking flagged again.
You're
of the Mandalorian series.
No, don't. Yeah,
I
still haven't seen the second season yet, dude.
Okay, so there's that one, and a lot of people last podcast were giving me shit for not watching the fucking Mandalorian.
Well, yeah, of course.
And
I was giving you shit, but I'm saving
I went ahead and finished the entire thing. I finished the entire thing.
Okay,
I thought it was fucking great, masterful fucking series, dude.
I know it is. I know it is. I agree with you, but don't talk about season 2, okay? Because I haven't seen that yet. I usually wait for all the episodes to be released before I go and see it. Because they release them on a weekly basis, right?
Yeah, so but they're already all up. So you
I know they're already all up, so I'm gonna do that.
Now let me just share a trick of oh god, look at her. Grogu dies. Normally people would watch the show first and then go to reaction videos because you can only show about 10% of the episode. That's true, yes. But don't believe Jennifer Serrano. Don't believe her.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong. People do die in season 2, obviously.
I know. But I'm just like,
let me say this about season 1.
All right,
season 1 for those, and spoiler alert again, because I like to spoil shit. Season 1 was a very very good premise to kind of post was it episode 6, because the Death Star was already defeated. Was it the second Death Star?
This was all after. I think this was all after. During the Force Awakens.
Yeah, it's like I don't remember the timeline, but very informative. I'm curious to see what comes later. Obviously, you watch season 2, Roger, and then you'll find out.
Is it a cliffhanger?
Not really, no.
Okay, then.
Now it leaves you wanting more, but at the same time, the cliffhanger is what comes after that. And I learned a lot from season 1, what the Mandalorians are.
Mm-hmm.
And they're a creed. They're not necessarily like a set of people. They're basically like they're orphans. They're orphans. It's a club.
Mm-hmm.
It's a mercenary fucking club. That's what they are. I like that Apollo Creed is in it. That's what I call Weathers. I love that he's in it. Of course, my first MMA girl crush, Gina Carano's in it. Did you ever see Gina Carano when she fought?
Yeah, dude. Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh man. Before Ronda Rousey, there was Gina Carano. And quite frankly, if Gina Carano would have fought Ronda Rousey at peak Ronda Rousey, Gina Carano would have destroyed her, dude. Only because she's a much better striker than her. But
Well, we can only see that in
that's
the
another
UFC
topic
games.
where, the women's mixed martial arts has really, really evolved to what it is now. But nonetheless, her character is it Cara Dune?
Yeah.
Magnificent. I like her backstory. She was an officer, correct? Is that what she was?
I think so. But she was
for the Republic, right?
She I think so. I'm gonna rewatch it. Right before I go with.
Man, there was some episodes because they're so short, Roger, in season 1 that I had to rewatch and kind of absorb and turn on the captions and read and kind of transcribe everything on my fucking head.
Mm-hmm.
And just really absorb the story. But what really impressed me was, of course, Baby Grogu. And that's
Is that what they call him?
They call him Grogu. I'll just tell you that because you're going to learn that immediately. If you don't know that,
I only known him as a child. He was known as the child.
No, he has a name. And you need to know that name and memorize it because dude. You go to Target and you look at the boxes that they're selling and it says that. You were bound to find that out.
Well, okay, I was, but I always thought of him as a child.
Well, of course he's referred to as a child, and I didn't even know. This is what I learned aside from the Mandalorian story, I didn't know that that's a specific type of species that exists. Like Yoda was just one of those, one of that species that existed. But apparently these are force sensitive beings. They are basically born gifted. It's such a trip. I was reading that on a fandom kind of website.
Okay.
I want to learn more, but it's really fucking crazy. It's like, oh, okay. Along with the Mandalorians, and then that species of creature. I guess it's a fucking creature. It's exactly what it is. I learned a lot. It's really fucking trippy. Also, what I learned in season 1 is that these motherfuckers stick together. They stick together. Again, spoiler alert if you haven't watched it, Roger has, but there's a bounty on the child, and he fucking no, fuck that. No, we don't talk
shut
about
up. People may not have seen it, and you're killing it for them, dude.
No, fuck that. Then not the motherfucking podcast. Fuck.
It's my show. I do whatever I fucking want.
It's my show.
Damn, dude.
No, I'm saying that there's a scene there where shit goes fucking awry, and these motherfuckers come like gangsters, dude. It's fucking crazy.
I remember that scene. Yeah.
No, but the thing that kind of surprised me the most about season 1 though is the cast. The cast really, really, really fucking impressed me, man. I loved seeing Bill Burr in it. Fucking Bill Burr was in The Mandalorian. That is awesome.
I have to rewatch it.
You don't know who fucking Bill Burr is?
Yeah, I do. Wait,
no,
which Bill Burr?
Bill Burr.
Yeah,
Bill fucking Burr, one of the greatest comedians of all fucking time. Second,
I know who that is, but you do know that there's 2 Bill Burrs, right? You do know that there's 2 Bill Burrs, right?
Who the fuck is the other Bill Burr?
The co-creator of Batman, motherfucker.
Oh, that Bill Burr. No,
yeah.
I'm talking about Bill Burr. Motherfucking Bill Burr.
Said Bill Burr, the comedian. I'm
talking about
whatever. You need more specifics, bro.
No. Okay, let me give you a hint. Do you remember him from the Dave Chappelle skit?
Which one?
The one of the funniest one that we like to always repeat.
The Rick James one? He was in that one?
I don't think he was in the Rick James one, no. He was in a couple other skits, but the main one that we laughed is I'll have a Samuel Adams. You know what?
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I'll have a
he's nice.
Samuel
Why
Jackson.
no. Yeah, okay, I
And then
remember
she's
that
the
one.
one that says, "Can you stop yelling?"
Yelling, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Bill Burr. Aside from his cameos in the Chappelle Show, he's a fucking amazing comedian.
I know he is because I love the one where he was talking about how he's so out of place because he doesn't have kids and his friends
now,
do.
but yeah.
And they're like all mature and they're talking about all this crazy political stuff. And then when it comes to his turn, he's like, I'm like that 9-year-old kid. He's like, have you ever seen that YouTube video where the raccoon steals the cat food? That's my favorite shit. That's him. I know who he is. Don't fucking tell me that I don't know, man. Shit, I know what I know.
You did.
But you could have just said Bill Burr, the comedian.
The comedian.
Because in my world, in Roger world, I know that there's 2 Bill Burrs. You know, of course, one of them's dead, but still, there's 2 Bill Burrs, and one of them is creator of Batman. So
can I give you one spoiler about season 2? Just one.
No.
Is it a cast member?
No.
It's just a cast member.
Who? Billy D. Williams?
No.
Okay, then no.
You're gonna kind of like it, actually. You're gonna like it. You're gonna like it.
All right.
I'll give you a hint.
Okay,
she is a WWE champion, pro wrestling champion.
Is it someone I like?
She's the current WWE champion, female champion, women's champion.
Current. You know, I don't really keep myself up to date because
you're on Snapchat, so I'm assuming you got some kind of. Can you take a guess though?
But was it the picture I sent you?
It's not the one you like. No.
Oh, and then who?
Sasha Banks. She's in season 2. Yep.
Why?
I forgot her character's name. I don't know, but she's pretty dope. She fits right in the storyline. That's all I'll tell you. I mean, I'm not gonna tell you anything else.
Good.
But as you can clearly see, she's wearing armor, and that's all I gotta tell you.
Oh, so she's one of them.
You don't know. Well, how do you?
I don't know.
Told you that?
Well, she's wearing armor.
Why does she have her helmet off?
Because she's probably the one who's talking to him all the time. So, thanks a lot, fool.
That's it. That's all I'm gonna tell you about season 2.
All right. I'll watch it tonight before I go to bed.
And of all the things you should be watching, is Sasha Banks in season 2. Look at that. Like, she even looking at it, she goes, "What the fuck, Roger? Why are you watching season 2?
Why aren't you watching it? I don't want to watch Sasha Banks. No,
But here's the nostalgic part of it is it reminds me a lot of the series in general. It just reminds me of Return of the Jedi, which for a lot of people that don't know, Return of the Jedi is my most precious
I know
like movie ever for me personally, because it hits a personal spot, because that was the fucking movie that helped me speak better English and shape my vernacular according to Mark Hamill's fucking.
And you should thank your mom, because wasn't she the one that forced you to watch it?
She force fed me this fucking movie, and it's crazy because like I look at this and it just reminds me of all the dialogue, and it's like, and of course I can't forget fucking Carrie Fisher in her fucking costume, and seeing some of the BTS scenes from the shoot is like, oh shit, like that was crazy. I didn't know she looked that good back then, man. That was crazy.
Well, how old were you back then? Like
when it was released, I was only 2 years old.
Yeah, but I mean, the VHS.
2 years. Well, I was the VHS. I don't think was. Look at that. Look at her, dude. She was gorgeous.
Yes, I know. Yeah.
I remember the VHS. The VHS. I'm saying chest because I'm looking at.
Oh, you're looking at titties. Yeah.
It's Jen's like, how did you go from Cobra Kai season 3 to The Mandalorian? Because we were
Good
talking
question.
about nostalgia. We were talking about the Karate Kid, and we never got to that. And now we're talking about Star Wars.
We were talking about Ninja Turtles. Then we were talking about
Christina's I just tuned in and I'm lost. Oh, we're just as lost, Christina. We're trying to get back. I'm even more lost because I'm looking pictures of Princess Leia.
And I'm scolding this asshole for spoilers and shit. But anyway.
Okay, so Return of the Jedi VHS release was 1986. Because I remember the movie came out 3 years prior. Remember, this is a time when VHS tapes were coming out later. Remember, they took a while to come out. Because 1983 was the actual release date of the actual film. I remember that.
Dude, we were only 5 years old. Come on.
Okay, so what grade was I in when I was 5? I was already in preschool, going into kindergarten.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
I didn't speak very good English. I didn't. So it just so happens that, that year, right, 1986, the VHS was released, right? But that summer, going into first grade, I believe, because I was already in kindergarten, that's when I was struggling with it. So I don't remember if my mom rented it or bought it, but wherever she did, it never went back to wherever she got it from. It stayed in my fucking house.
Did you have the box for it?
No. You know what box it came in? It was like a kind of like a brown box. I don't even know. Like, let me see if I find the original packaging. It didn't look, let's see, packaging. I highly doubt it. No, I don't remember this box at all. This is the actual box. Because I remember the actual VHS looked like this one.
The label. Okay.
Yes. But no, this is the THX one. Hold on. I'm looking for the original one that looked, I mean, I'm pretty sure my mom still has it. Oh no, that's the one. This is the one.
Okay.
But it had the same color, but without the THX logo. I don't know if THX was even around back then.
I think it was.
Oh, I found it. That's it. That's the one.
So you didn't have that box?
No, it came in some like rental box, and I never. All I had was the actual tape. I guess so, because back then you wouldn't rent videos. You were watching with the original box.
Tape.
So you decided
to steal a videotape.
And this is the movie that I hold dear to me, man. It's this one, and of course Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. Those two.
Okay. Yeah.
But we went from Karate Kid, which let's look at that packaging. Karate Kid. What the fuck was that?
Oh, I got an email. That was the tone from Star Tours in Disney.
Wow. I'm like, what the hell? You got a droid in your house?
Oh no, that's this.
So this is this is the actual original Karate Kid fucking tape. Let me see if I find it on here. Wow, that is so trippy, dude. Look at this. Some of these people on Etsy actually have the original fucking stock. Like everything. Look at this. That's fucking crazy. Wow, look at those white wheels. Remember that? Dude.
I still remember you taught me how to like spin them. Like, how do you do that?
Oh yeah, so
you
easy.
Get a pencil and you stick it in here and you just, no way.
Oh look, speaking of retro, oh my god, Star Wars so over it. So over. I love how Spaceballs made fun of it. Spaceballs is one of the best fucking parodies I have ever seen in my life.
Yep.
I think by far was that one was amazing. And let's see if they have that Spaceballs.
The funny thing is, if you notice, they were climbing the ladder out in space with like no spacesuits or anything like that. They were just like whatever.
Oh my god, dude, that is fucking funny. Because I remember when I first saw that, I'm like, what the fuck are they doing? And
You know, I never got the joke. I bet she gives good helmet until I was like in like later in my teens, or I was like, I never when I first saw it, I was a kid. I was like, what does he mean by I bet she gives good helmet?
Oh yeah, Hot Shots, man. How could I forget Hot Shots? Fucking A, dude. Hot Shots. Okay, what was my favorite Hot Shots? Probably Part 2.
Yeah.
Part 2 was my personal favorite because it's like, I don't know, man. Hot Shots, Part 2, for example.
Didn't we go to the Commerce Theater to see that one?
Yes, because I remember that whole movie just made me fucking erupt in laughter. But what really
Alarm.
that's what made me fucking lose my shit. It's like, what the fuck? Like, I looked at it, it's like, alarm. It's when he's exiting, right? It says alarm.
When they were because he was
When they were like,
escaping.
fucking
Sound the
Saddam
alarm.
Hussein was in it. Remember when he gets splattered by the thing? And these motherfuckers in lightsabers, dude, remember? God damn it,
Oh
dude.
man.
And that's when I learned the pun
think
joke.
if you were to watch it again, like, would it be just as funny as it was back then?
Yes, dude.
Is it like, I don't know.
Anthony said the first one was the best. Yes, the first one was fucking great, dude. I cannot, I can't.
I think the second one was cool because I found it funny how all the monks were just trying to get that girl's attention. And they were like, there was one that was actually like flexing and shit in front of her. He's like,
mother of all movies. No, you know what fucking films just made me fucking crack up is the Naked Gun fucking series movies, dude.
Yeah, those were cool.
That one by far. I wish I could show you my collections of VHS I still have. That is awesome, Christina. Fucking A. Okay, remember DVD players when they first came out?
Yeah, they were like super expensive.
Remember, it was a DVD.
I remember there was a selling point when
2002.
When I worked at Software, etc. We would get people to buy a PS2 because it was the cheapest DVD player that you can get back then.
That was a selling point.
Seriously, it was like I think it was what, $300 for the PS2, while DVD players cost like $400 to $500 at the time. It was crazy.
Which was the ones that we sold at Radio Shack? I remember it was like
RCA.
Progressive Scan DVD.
The RCA ones. They were the RCA ones.
RCA?
Yeah.
What? No.
Yes.
Was it RCA?
Yes, it was the RCA one.
Was it this one here on the left?
No.
Oh my god, this is fucking crazy. Look at what they used to look like.
That was when I was working at Video Express, and I was working at Radio Shack, and I bought the DVD player from Radio Shack, and I took it to my old boss at Video Express. He's like, here, Merry Christmas, because he didn't have one. And it's like, now you can rent DVDs out.
Look at Anthony. I still have that stupid machine that rewinds the VHS tapes before you take them back. Was it a Mustang or
was it a Lamborghini?
Was it a Corvette?
I had a white Lamborghini.
Oh my god, let me see.
The video cassette rewinder.
Rewinder. Car. Let's see. Oh my god, dude.
You would see that at almost everybody's house.
Great. Oh wow. Man. I remember someone asked me, one of the younger guys at work at one point, that if I ever heard a Blockbuster video, and I'm just like, man, Blockbuster for us was like a treat, man. It was like kind of like a fucking toy store of movies and shit. Because I'm like, before that, we had to get a membership. We had to pay for a membership to Video Express. There was Video for You. There was JC Video. There was Ecumex right there next to the fucking Cork Room and Pasta House. There was fucking so many, and it's like, gosh, dude. My first ever video store was Video for You store. Look at this. It used to look like this. I don't even know if I could find a fucking picture of it. Or even Video Express. You think we'll find one? Video Express.
Dude, no.
Picture.
No. I don't
Store.
think so.
Let's see. Damn, how many fucking stores actually had that name?
Obviously a lot. Look.
Wow. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Grand opening, grand closing. Look at that.
Store closing.
These are like the ancient ruins of fucking civilization, man. Look at that.
Yeah, you could see how a lot of things just change because of our technology. Businesses die.
Crazy.
I mean, the very same thing that started this business was the same thing that killed it.
Howard the Duck. Oh my God. Hollywood Video. That's where our pal Ruben used to be a manager at. And then Chris says, that's how I convinced my parents to get me a PlayStation 2 because he could also use it as a DVD player.
DVD player. Yeah. That's how we would sell them. You want a cheap DVD player? There you go.
I never understood the difference between Hollywood Video and Blockbuster. I never really knew. Do you know if there was even a difference? Like Hollywood Video, was it because they had video games at Hollywood Video?
No, Blockbuster had video games too. In fact, Blockbuster rented video games and video game consoles.
Oh yeah, you can rent a Super Nintendo.
Did you know that Blockbuster even had blank cartridges, like Sega Genesis cartridges? So if a game came out, and you wanted to go rent it, let's say like Mortal Kombat 2, right? And you wanted to rent it, but they were out, what they would do is they would pop it into a machine and download a copy into it.
That's right. I remember that. Yes.
And there were these generic looking cartridges, like they were green and had these weird labels on it. And afterwards they would sell them.
Oh, so Hollywood Video sold music.
They sold music.
And then you could trade in video games at Hollywood Video. Oh, I didn't know that.
I did not know that.
And we had this neighborhood guy rent VHS out of his garage first, then he opened the store by Ramona guy. Oh, Juan's Video. I totally remember Juan's Video. Right there by the Hazard Projects, dude. And then, Hollywood Video had the newer movies. Really? That's so crazy. Wow.
So remember what killed Blockbuster?
Was it Netflix?
Yeah.
Yes, because the founder was fed up with was it the late fees or something like that?
I know they abolished late fees. Remember, they took them out.
Yeah.
And they had the 5-day rentals, no late fees, 99-cent 5-day rentals. But Blockbuster actually started to do the streaming service as well, but it failed. I think that's what killed it.
You see Netflix DVD rentals. Remember they used to come like this?
Yeah, I used to do it all the time. I had Netflix. I used to burn them.
This is our
DVDs.
Netflix. This was our Netflix. Let's see, 1998. Yeah, look, that's the evolution of it. 98, 2000, 05. 98, 2000, 2001, 04, 05, 2014. I think they stopped, around 2015 because everything went streaming.
It's streaming, yeah. Because I remember I got the service, and before you could pay one fee and you would get streaming and one DVD. And you could order the DVD and they send it to you, but you couldn't order another one until you return the first one you get. So,
no,
that's one of the reasons why I had like a DVD burner, because I would burn their movies. I did that. I don't want to get in trouble for that. I don't think I can now, but that's what I used to do.
No, but back then, dude, I mean, a lot of people, everyone's guilty of this shit because people were getting cease and desist letters, remember? It was DVDs and of course music, because of course Napster was around. And I don't know if you remember this one for music, and I'm pretty sure you do, because I used to use your
Audio Galaxy.
computer. Yeah, Audio Galaxy.
Yeah.
This is what it used to look like. Look at the old interface. That's so crazy. But I would find almost everything on there, and I'm like, whose fucking computers are they scanning?
Show that comment. Don't get me started with that one.
Oh my god.
The red box one. Red box.
Let's see. You know who's to blame for all the small DVD businesses going out of business? Redbox.
You know they lose a lot of business too, because when I worked at GameStop, we had to trade in games and stuff. We would get a lot of Redbox games, and this is how they got around it. And I figured it out, but I don't know if it's true. I don't know if it works. I don't know if it worked, but usually, if they don't get your, if Redbox doesn't get the return, they charge your credit card, right, for the full amount of whatever you get, right? What they would do is either these guys were employed by loading the red boxes up with the thing, and you would get like this. What it would need, what all the machine would do was, you see the little white circle in the middle? Yeah, that's all it needs to scan. It doesn't, scan the disc or anything. It just scans that, because that's the barcode. So I figured that maybe what these guys would do is they just take a picture and copy it like in a high quality printer and stick it on blank discs and just load it into the machine.
Whoa,
so that way they don't get charged. Shit. So they probably don't get charged with these late fees. But the thing is,
that is, I mean, that's kind of criminally genius. But
we would have a guy, dude, come in like almost every week with a stack. I kid you not, like a stack like this of video games. Whoa. And some of them are like doubles, and they all had the Redbox labels on them. And I personally would not take them. I say, really? I would tell the guy, it's like, let me get somebody else to help you out, because I know for a fact that I'm receiving stolen goods. But we can't we couldn't say that, oh, you stole it. We can't do that. You can't accuse anybody without proof.
Of course. Yeah, without proof.
So I would tell my manager, hey, would you handle this? Because I really feel like I can't do that. And he's like, just do it. I'm like, no, man, you do it. And sure enough, he would take care of it. But yeah, that's how people would get around it. And that's how you could probably still get around it, because all you got to do is make a copy of that barcode and feed it to the machine, and it won't charge you, because they'll say that, oh, you returned it. And then that's how you get games or movies and shit. But they're DVDs. You can still burn them. You can still burn the DVDs. So
that reminds me of how people were using green dot cards to pay for shit.
Yeah.
And I don't know how they were loading them, but that was so suspect. And I could not take. I'm like, okay, what kind of? It's a prepaid card. They were basically scheming to do anything to get money. Mm-hmm. And this is around. I remember that started happening around the MySpace days, like in 2004. And I started seeing Redbox, fucking vending machines all over, like outside of like 7-Eleven,
Walgreens. They were mostly in Walgreens, right?
Yeah, and I'm like, wait a minute. I think I seen one at a Save On. Remember when Save On was around?
Yeah, Save On before CVS. Yeah.
Chris said, "Damn, you guys just remind me of my boy in high school who used to burn me my CDs. Just passed away. RIP. Rest in peace, man." Again, I mean, this whole podcast in general. I mean, obviously, it's the final podcast of 2020. We've gone for an hour and 54 minutes. We've covered probably just about all kinds of shit. But
check this out on Netflix. I want you to see that. We're gonna watch that.
What is it?
It says "Death to 2020." It's a mockumentary. I haven't seen it. I just saw it pop up like a couple of days ago. It's done by the people who did Black Mirror, so it's gonna be funny, or it's gonna be cool. So we're gonna have to watch that.
Wait, hold on. Just so everyone know, because this is the first time you're fucking telling me.
I just popped up. I told you.
I'm gonna share my screen, and hold
Death
on.
To 2020.
I hate when fucking Net does that. That's so annoying. Okay, so let
Guess
me
who's
click
in
on
it,
that.
man?
And who's
Well,
in
that's the
it?
trailer.
Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
And as the year we all want to end finally does, take a look back at 2020's Mad Glory in this comedic retrospective from the creators of Black Mirror. Okay, cool. So it's Death to 2020, and we put it on my list.
I'm gonna definitely watch it. Tracy Ullman is in it.
Oh my God. If anyone does even remembers Tracy Ullman, she was also a comic, an English comic, right?
Yeah.
That had her own series, her own show, her own sitcom, I guess you could call it, or whatever.
Like her own version of
And
Chappelle's show.
Yeah, her own, yeah. And she
Yeah.
debuted The Simpsons on her show.
The Simpsons came out on her show. Thank
Yeah.
you to her for her
And
bringing us The Simpsons.
And Anthony says, where can I watch Cobra Kai season 3 right now? I don't know. There's any leaks. I can't publicly incriminate myself over the interwebs, but send me a disappearing message on Facebook. Nah, real talk, Anthony. I don't know. I mean, usually the torrents have them out, but now the torrents have gotten so shitty. And they have watermarks. The quality is poor. Like everyone that is actually building all this content knows how to basically put everything on DRM. DRM is digital rights management, and stripe it with what is probably like the equivalent of the tamper-proof label on, I don't know, like a fucking
on a gaming console. When you peel it off,
something.
it says void, warranty void on there. Yeah.
Now they've actually done that with fucking digital content. They've done it with music, and the music one it's easier to take off, but the film for sure, like there's great encryption on it now, which it was getting really bad at one point. Everyone knows, and that's why the film industry lost a lot of money, and now sprinkle a pandemic on top of that, and then now they're really waiting to get back.
Just wait till Friday. Yeah.
But
if you can't wait, you can be like Eric Cartman and freeze yourself. Yeah.
Wow, really? But nonetheless, 2020 again as a whole has been quite the experience. I mean, I think the only other year that I really said, fuck, this year sucks, was not too long ago. It was probably like 2016. No, 2015, if I remember, 5 years ago. But I will say this. I remember that's the year I worked at Pinnacle College. They did the year before that was the infamous axing of old original people, and then 2015 had to be basically navigated with new people on board that quite frankly didn't really want to be in that position.
So it was about your job.
And it was kind of like we were already walking the plank. It was only a matter of time. So 2015.
So wasn't that the year David was born?
Yes, and on top of that was my that was the tunnel at the end of my light. The light at the end of my tunnel. And then 2016 happened. And just when I thought it couldn't get any worse, there was a big rear light that year, and 2016 was badass. But fast forward, 2019, for example, was just a shitty year, and going into 2020, I was like, fuck, here we go. It was bad. Yeah, 2001 when 9/11 was bad. 1999 when we thought the world was going to end and we all panicked. Yep, and Roger pranked his fucking family on New Year's Eve.
It was a good one.
And but here's what I will say. Celebrate responsibly this week. And what I mean is, of course, be smart. Of course, I'm not gonna, again, like we said last week, Roger, I'm not gonna say to not get together. I'm not.
No, yeah, don't.
Because people are gonna do it anyway.
That's what all we said is just, be smart, be safe, if you're gonna gather, try to keep it intimate, if you're gonna have a party, then Just common sense. That's all.
And you
But
know,
have fun if you are.
be smart with, you know, don't be drunk driving, obviously. The other thing too is if you are too fucked up, you know, just I've always been notorious for this. If I'm too fucked up to drive, I just either sleep in my car, throw the keys in the glove box, and sleep in the back seat. That's one thing I would always recommend to people, because at least you could say, hey, a buddy drove me here, but I was too fucked up to drive home. I decided to take a nap. I have nowhere to sleep. That's the best way. Or you put the actual keys in the trunk. But make sure you don't lock your fucking, you know, don't make sure you don't trap your keys in there, because if you have an old fucking, you know, car the way the latch doesn't work inside, then you're fucked. But the best advice I've gotten before is if that's the case, throw your keys in the glove box and close it, and then sleep in the back seat.
I say book a hotel.
If you can afford it, but we're living in a pandemic. We're living in a pandemic era, and you're looking at New Year's Eve. You know, it's always best to just either sleep where you're at or sleep in your car and do just that. And just make sure, you know what I used to always do? Always keep a dark blanket in your the backseat of your car or in your trunk, so that way you could just cover yourself, crack the windows, and then just make sure. And it helps to park where, you know, you're not going to get fucking, you know, the unfortunate attention, obviously, like in a fucking double parked in a red or some shit. Like, you know,
it's either book a hotel or just stay home. Stay home. Or, if you're gonna get fucked up, at least you know you're gonna pass out somewhere where you know where you're at.
Here's the other thing that I always advise: being a rideshare driver for almost a year. If you are gonna take an Uber, do not fucking throw up in the driver's fucking car, dude. Please don't do that. Don't throw up in there. And no, man, just don't do it. Because I have daughters, so now my New Year's consists of apple cider and Disney Plus. Yeah. Christina's gonna stay home, clean the house, start your new year clean. Ooh. Absolutely. The other thing too is 2021.
Yes, round 2.
It's round 2. Treat it, and this is kind of like the consciousness change that I think a lot of people were kind of hoping for. Now that we went through a really, really fucked up year with 2020, things are not going to just magically, you know, just fix themselves. They're not. There's a lot of work to do.
Dude, nothing's going to go back the way it was. No, it never will. It's not. It's never going to.
So
there's going to be a new normal, and we have to find it.
The one thing I will promote, which 2020 didn't really promote, I don't know why, because they're too busy talking about the doom and gloom of what's going on, is the focus is on so much. The focus is so much on what's going wrong. There's never been a focus of what needs to be done to fix it. And the one thing I noticed that they didn't really promote is not an uber healthy lifestyle, but, you know, cut out some of the stuff that is kind of deteriorating you from the inside. And it's because during a pandemic, people pick up a lot of addictions again. And I've decided January 1st, I'm taking the whole month off from alcohol. So tomorrow and Thursday is my last, and I've done it before, and it's the greatest thing for your body. I highly recommend it to anybody. And the reason why is because there's just, you know, your liver can only push so hard, and you're feeding it so much junk that I remember this past January, Roger encouraged me to go 2 weeks without meat.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And that was pretty awesome. I mean, my insights thanked me for that one. But then I went back to eating fucking 7 tacos at King Taco, and I was back to square one.
Back to lava butt.
I was like, fuck. And no, I mean, but you know, usually January is a time for me to, you know, watch the NFL playoffs, you know, hang out with my friends. But there's a tradition every January, which me and Roger attended this past January with our friend Gabriel. to basically drink all day and eat at BJ's in Montebello, but that's not going to happen this year. And, I'm kind of bummed out because one, my buddy's in the hospital in the ICU. And two, it's like, it wouldn't be the same if I did it. And that's why I'm like, all right, so January is going to be kind of like a very laid back kind of month for me. And I'm doing it for not only personal reason, but, I just don't want to, have it around for at least a month, and then work my way back. And I do want to, everyone wants to cut weight, man. Everyone wants to cut weight. And
yeah, I need to get back.
That's a start. No, that's a start for me. And then the food, obviously, a second. And carbohydrates are just really hard to cut, man. Really hard.
Okay, so we'll do something for January then, for the month of January, and hopefully it keeps going. Hopefully, because the whole point of a New Year's resolution is you do it throughout the whole year. That's what it's all about. You want to cut alcohol out. All right, that's cool. I'll do the weight thing with you.
In January?
We'll do the 30-day thing.
Perfect, man. I mean, usually people do what is called sober October. And I'm actually, that's one thing I do want to do this year, this upcoming year in 2021. I do want to do a sober October. But January for me will be a good starting point to at least, because how long does it take to build new habits? You know this already. Takes approximately 30 days.
Okay. Yeah, actually, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
And for me,
I'm gonna keep you. I'm gonna try to keep you off of the booze.
Yeah. I mean, I everyone knows I like to fucking drink, and I like to drink to get drunk. I have not ever admitted that I don't have a problem with binge drinking.
You don't drink to get drunk. You drink to pass out.
I do, and it's a weird.
And the funny thing is, I'm surprised.
Can relate to, actually.
Did you not drink this Christmas Eve?
No, I did.
But was it the same as last year? Because I didn't see any videos of you passed out on the couch.
No, I lasted maybe. Yeah, I drank for 5 straight hours, and then at the 10 o'clock hour, I was already I was past the point of no return. So I fell asleep in the passenger seat of the car on the way home, and I fell asleep in the car. Sleep back. It's just gotten to the point where besides the feeling of getting drunk for me is just that it's a very big gluttony thing. Only because I really, really enjoy the taste of that liquid bread in my mouth and inside my stomach to inflate. I even thought about doing the non-alcoholic beers that they sell, but I'm like, I don't even want to test it. I'm one who, you already know me. Once I set my mind on something for that duration of the time, I'm cool. And then my birthday's coming up in February, and it lands on Super Bowl Sunday. I don't want to dive into, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to build a better base for not just, the binge drinking. I don't want to do that. I want to know my limits, test them, which I've already done, and then just build. Because, dude, spoiler alert here, I will be 40 on February 7th.
We already know that.
This is the time. This is a great stamp for me. Okay, at 40 years old, I started doing this. Now,
dude, we're at an age where we can no longer do what we've done before.
Of course.
I mean,
after 8 beers, I'm already
I clearly myself, this whole year, this whole fucking lockdown thing, my fucking diet has gone to shit.
A lot of us, man.
Last year, I would actually do exercises every day because I would actually have a reason to get up out of bed and go out. So my shit is gone. So January 1st, I'm gonna get on it, and I'm gonna do it with you. So
Christina's also gonna start a diet on the 1st and get back to jogging. Of course, here's the thing: is I've learned that with our age now, It's not so much about the exercise itself, it's the volume you do it in. And I've been listening to a lot of remember that fighter Georgia St. Pierre, GSP?
Mm-hmm.
Probably one of the best fucking fighters of all time, in my opinion. You listen to the people that are responsible for his peak condition. And I listened to his trainer, his main coach, Faraz Sahabi. And he said that if you work out in volume, not so much length, and volume, like 10 minutes Monday, 10 minutes Tuesday, 10 minutes Wednesday, off Thursday, 10 minutes Friday, 5 minutes Saturday, off Sunday, 15 minutes Monday the next day, like in little tiny spurts, right?
Mm-hmm.
The volume is what makes up for your conditioning. Now, same thing with diet. It's also by volume. So it's the theory of volume. I'm like, and I didn't understand it. I'm like, what the fuck does he mean by volume? And it's the term baby steps. Yeah. So, you gradually go, because we get so fucking impatient when not seeing results right away. And
that's my problem.
Especially me. I get impatient because I'm quick. I drop at least 30 pounds of water weight within like 2 weeks. Easy. I drop water weight at 30 pounds of water weight in 2 weeks. And then what you once told me, goes, oh shit, you probably plateaued. And I'm like, what the fuck is plateau? So I look into that. And then it wasn't until I started reading more of this guy's techniques. And then I picked up this thing, which I'm going to encourage everyone to get it. And I got it because it was on sale. And this kind of taught me everything I need to know. Seriously. Now I know why this man is playing like he's in his 20s at age 43. And a lot of it revolves not on weight training, not on, powerlifting, none of that. And that's just because he's a quarterback in the NFL, obviously.
Right.
But it's because of the food he fucking intakes and the pliability he does. I always underestimated stretching and even a simple plank.
Oh, I can't plank for shit.
Okay, so I can, but not to the extent of like Tom Brady does it. So
no, I can't do it. I can't.
Aside from learning about his psyche, which is very crucial, very crucial. Don't get me wrong. Have you ever seen Tom Brady chug a beer?
Yes.
It's fucking phenomenal to watch, and he still does it. He still does it. But he has to. He can do that. He can do that because he has this year-round regimen that he follows. He goes to his wife's home country of Brazil. He's having fucking coconut, whatever drinks in it, and he can do that. But guess what? He's made it a habit to do it almost daily, and even on light days. I'm like, okay. So his theory is you have to basically put yourself in a position where you have to change the story that you tell yourself daily. And you, as a person, Roger, you tell yourself, you keep telling yourself the same story daily, and that's why you don't get results. Because I know I'm guilty of that myself.
All right. I mean,
it's very
I kind of get what you're saying.
How that works, but it's true. It took for me to kind of dissect exactly what the same story I'm telling myself in my head.
Uh-huh.
And that's why I'm not getting results.
Because you're bored.
I do not suffer from boredom at all. I always find something to do.
If I tell myself the same story over and over again, I get bored. I would get bored.
Maybe that's what you're
that's
not
my
getting.
mindset.
You're probably, and it's either two things. Either you keep repeating the same story in your head to give you that certainty that, okay, I'm not going to lose weight. or you keep reading that same uncertainty to say the same story to give you that variety, that's those surprises where you're like me, I dropped 30 pounds of weight in 2 weeks. And then I'm like, okay, well, no. And then I keep telling myself, fuck, I'm stuck. I don't know what to do. Fuck, I'm stuck. I don't know what to do. And I keep repeating what would be defined as the definition of insanity. Keep doing the same shit, expecting what? Different results.
Different results, yeah.
So that's my issue is I have to tell myself a different story. I have to build myself a different map because I've been following the same fucking route forever.
Well, I mean, the reason why I started this, I did it like back in 2018, back in August. And that's because I wanted somebody else to do it with me. And this person said that they were, and we're like, okay. And I started doing it. You know, I went 6 months doing it, and it turns out that other person didn't. So I was like, well, screw you. I'm going to keep going, blah, blah, blah. And I would have been doing it, but this whole thing happened. You know, throughout the whole of 2019, I was doing my daily shit. You know, you saw me. I had my weights, everything, and it was doing good until after I want to say like June when I finished my clinicals at Gardena. Things started to slow down because I really wasn't, you know, going out to go to do what I would normally do, like my daily shit.
Right.
And
right.
And then when January hit, that's when everything changed. They're like, yeah, everything's gonna be done from home. So that was it. I was like, I am not motivated anymore to do this, and I couldn't.
That's the story you keep telling yourself.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Christina's saying it's complicated. Well, yeah. Christina's saying it's too complicated, but it really isn't. It's complicated because you made it that way.
Yeah, and the fucked up part is I regained everything that I fucking lost. Yeah, you know, it's like shit. Now I have to start all over again.
You're back to square one. Maybe here's what I haven't done, and that's why I'm getting out of my comfort zone. One of them is just giving up the booze for a whole month, and I remember doing that before, and I had results because it was out of my comfort zone.
It'll work again. Me, I need that competition. So if you do it with me, then yeah, things will work out. So.
It's always best to do it in pairs. Here's the thing: is it's always best to do it in pairs with people that you won't exactly get too comfortable with. Like, for example, with you, I was always the one pushing myself and not ever getting comfortable with you when it came to that type of stuff. Like you would ride your bike in circles at Sabre Park, for example, while I was jogging. Like no matter what, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna keep doing this. You do your own thing, but I need to see you do something. It doesn't have to be what I'm doing, but I need to see you moving.
All right.
And that's even if it's a walk up. I'm a walker, you know me, man. I like to walk. I'm a lone walker. I don't know. I'm such a weirdo, dude. I like to put headphones on and just walk by myself. But of course, I can't really do that. It's a form of meditation for me. That's why.
Yeah, it's a way of dealing with stress. You know, I even told it. I told your wife, it's like men and women are different. You know, if there's problems, a man does not want to talk about it. We just want to be alone with our thoughts, while a woman wants to talk and be listened to. I'm like, we don't want to hear it either.
Sort it out right then and there, and especially when it comes to dietary or any kind of like compulsions.
That's a whole nother episode and a whole nother podcast right there, dude.
But nonetheless, Happy New Year to everyone. Tomorrow, however, I will be having a Friends New Year's Eve Zoom. I don't even know what the limit on Zoom is, but I bought my booze for tomorrow. So I will be having that on Zoom with everyone. And if you have your drink, go ahead and fucking dive in.
I really can't have alcohol because of meds, but I can maybe have an ounce or two.
Here's the thing too. For those that are watching live here or are going to replay it, it's okay to buy, dude. There's an array of non-alcoholic beers that have zero alcohol that actually taste like beers, Roger.
I know.
Believe me,
I've had O'Doul's.
I
I've
had,
had O'Doul's.
I had,
It's good.
no, there's better ones. I've had three on I had three on accident one time,
How did you
and
have it on accident? You bought it on
grabbed
accident.
I grabbed whatever was in the ice chest,
Okay.
and it was Heineken Zero,
All right.
and I thought it was just a light beer. I didn't even read the label. It was already like on beer 6. I had like 6 Modelos.
And you're like, I'm
And
not getting drunk.
I thought I was actually drinking beer, and I'm just like, God, this is so good. And I read it, and I'm like, what? And no, what happened was that saved me 3 from drinking 3 more beers. Right. So I kind of weighed it out, and I'm like, okay, I don't feel as fucked up. I'm like, okay. And after that, I mean, I hit my pen, and that usually keeps me from drinking more. And then I went to bed.
Cool.
So it's like I have to figure out a method to really just kind of either eliminate it.
I'm gonna make me a seltzer. I'll make me a seltzer, because I got my soda stream and I can put alcohol in it, but I'm not gonna do a lot. So
no, I mean just keep it. I mean, I don't even know how long this will go, but I'm gonna start around 9-ish and then just kind of warm it up from there. So because Thursday, of course, is New Year's Eve. I do have plans. But I want to see everyone, kind of virtually drink with everyone before the year's end and just say, hey, just let's have fun at home, not get crazy and, just have laughs. And I'm pretty sure it's going to turn into a roast of Edgar. So.
Oh, we'll see. It'll evolve.
It always does, especially if I have my bros from Pico fucking joining the call.
No, if that happens, they're going to come after me.
Well, then there's you. So
they'll come after me instead.
But yeah, Happy New Year. Have a good night, everyone. I will shoot out the link tomorrow. That way you guys can join on Zoom. Again, I don't know. I don't even know how many people are allowed on Zoom total.
All right, let's do it. Ready?
But
Merry New Year.
Merry New Year. It's Happy New Year.
In this country, we say Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Thank you for then he starts to laugh. Thank you for correcting my English, which stinks.
If anyone knows that line, that you got it, but it's from Trading Places with Eddie Murphy. So,
Merry New Year.
Nonetheless, everyone, Happy New Year. Be safe. Hopefully, I could see you tomorrow on Zoom. Until then, Merry New Year.
Merry New Year.